My name is Leah Grant. I'm here at Pure Movement Pilates. Today we're going to look at some breath work, releasing through the base of the pelvis, finding the width of our rib cage and the length through our spine. So we're going to have a soft 9-inch diameter ball. So we're actually going to come to seated on the 9-inch diameter ball. Find a comfortable crisscross position. Coming to seated on top of the ball. It's deflated for a reason, right? So giving it just a little bit of a flatter surface rather than a very firmly blown up ball. So the firmness of the ball is going to kind of directly affect the movement today. So if you need to deflate it a little bit every now and then, like right, just pop it out, take the little stopper out. So from here, my hands are just comfortably on the knees. Whichever leg crisscross in front is fine. And I'm almost just like while I'm talking to you, adjusting, kind of just like relaxing around the ball underneath me. We're going to try to find kind of the four corners of the base of our pelvis. So in the seated position first, I'd like you to start to tip forward a little bit. And I want you to feel as though the pubic bone is sliding down into the ball. Your hip creases are folded very acutely, and you almost might feel like you're kind of like a tail feathers, like popping the booty back a little bit. Now I want you to tuck the wheel of your pelvis just a little bit and feel like you're sort of pivoting now, scooping, and you might feel now that you've rolled back a little bit, almost maybe like a dog that's like tucked its tail underneath us. Bringing it back up, just start to go back and forth like that. Little tip forward, and then a little tip back. So we're just playing with the sensation of moving the wheel of your pelvis. So it doesn't have to be big, and you're not trying to control this in a really like strong arm yourself into it. You know, try to feel a little bit more fluid, a little bit more organic, maybe sort of like the way a boat might rock at the water's surface. And Paula, you have the togu ball. So if you have a larger ball, you can sit on top of a larger ball, especially if this might be a little tight for your knees. So I have a 9-inch diameter ball. If you want a larger ball, that togu ball, it could also work as a prop. That's closer to, I think, a 12-inch diameter. And then let's go ahead and bring everything just back up through center. Just kind of see what that feels like. Now we're going to find a little bit of a right to a left. And that is, for me, slightly smaller, as I feel like I'm just leaning a little bit to the left. My left sit bone drops down into the ball. Back up through center. Lean a little bit to the right, feel the right sit bone grow a little bit heavier down into the ball. And then the same thing, just a little bit of left and right. This to me kind of feels a little bit more like a canoe, like if you were standing in a canoe and you're sort of rocking it right to left, rather than the dip and swell of the bow of a boat. Just playing with that a little bit. We're going to bring that back up through center. Now we're going to try to kind of make a circle. So I want you to think a little bit. You're going to dip forward towards the pubic bone, over to the left sit bone, tuck just a little bit to the tailbone, over to the right sit bone, and then back to the pubic bone. And we're going to keep going like that, just kind of circling, trying both to loosen our hips and relax our pelvic floor. So feeling soft on the ball. If we're really tight, this could be quite a bit tender, which again is why I want a softer ball. We're not going to sit like on a basketball or anything, right? We want to relax the body by using soft props. No PVC pipes, nothing really hard. So we're using soft balls, soft foam rollers. We're going to switch, going the other way. And we're just using the soft ball underneath us to feel the different places of the bony landmarks at the base of our pelvis. Just breathing naturally. Let's do twice more, starting to loosen a little bit through the hips. Notice how tight your knees are. And then we're going to bring it all the way up, and we're going to breathe just a little bit. And this can be harder for some of us to find. Lots of times I kind of cue the idea of opening up the base of your pelvis. And I've had some clients privately, in private sessions be like, I don't know what that means, so we're going to play with that just a little bit. And we're actually going to use the feeling of the ball underneath us to try to tell us whether or not we're opening and closing the base of our pelvis. So if it helps, you can close your eyes. And I want you to almost turn inward and sort of, again, feel or picture that ball underneath you. We're going to gently start to inhale, and I want you to visualize you're going to try to send your inhale down into the ball underneath you. And visualize that you have to sort of expand into the ball. And then on an exhale, I want you to just gently visualize you're going to draw that ball in and up. It could be a small breath of air. If you make it too big, it might stay up high into the chest. So maybe it's really small, but it's more directional. So you're really thinking about the ball underneath you, that feeling of opening into the ball. And then exhale, sort of like you're going to close the four corners of your base of your pelvis. Those bony landmarks are going to pull in and up. Let's just do this twice more. It might not be a huge movement at first. You're just trying to sense whether or not the ball is changing position at all underneath you. And last one. It can be really hard to find, so maybe practice every now and then and just try to sense that relaxation in the base of your pelvis, the glutes, the hips, right? Feeling like we're opening that up. Gently roll to one side. We're going to come off of the ball. Gently kind of set yourself down just for a moment. Like see what that feels like. Hopefully we feel a little bit more expanded, relaxed, opened up. All right, so I'm going to turn to one side. The ball's now going to come behind us. Again, whether you've got the 9-inch or the 12-inch, that's fine. We're going to open up through the thoracic spine now. So the ball is behind us. Hands can come behind the head. Lift up and back. Maybe a little snap, crackle, pop as you go. I'm going to hold here for just a beat. My head is on the mat. That feels okay for me. If we're really tight in the neck, this might be a no-no. You can keep the hands behind your head for that little bit of support. And I'm just going to start to move organically on top of the ball. Again, sort of like now I'm trying to loosen my rib wall. Breathing, just feel a little bit like you're opening up through the body. Sometimes we call this like a marionette, right? You could even lay your head down, reach the arms up overhead and move organically, sort of like if you were a puppet on strings and someone's sort of making you lift and lower, right and left. Then let's have everybody take a nice big reach wherever you're at. The hands can still be behind the head. Then you're going to cradle and then exhale, lift, head, neck, and chest, and pivot. So now we're going to practice a little bit more the rib cage, diaphragmatic breathing, rather than deep into the base of our pelvis. So we're going to take an inhale as we lengthen up and back. And we're going to feel the front of our body expand. And then we're going to exhale, pivot, and lift, head, neck, chest, curl. Inhale. And then exhale, pivot, lift, head, neck, chest, and curl. Now in this position, as best you can, I want you to be careful you don't yank your chin forward. I want you to think a little bit more like you're folding. Your head is just being glided up because your mid-rib wall is starting to get heavy. That's what helps kind of pop the head, neck, and chest up. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to lift. Let's do twice more. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to lift. Almost there. Last one. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to lift, head, neck, chest, curl it up. Stay up here for me. We are going to move into a little bit of a twist. Everybody's going to inhale to the right, opening their rib cage to the right, pivoting on the ball. Exhale, pull through center to the left. Inhale to the right. And exhale. So just a little bit of heat here. Not a whole lot of reps today. I just want you to make sure you feel that rib wall moving against the ball underneath you. Inhaling, we're pressing the back of our right shoulder, right rib wall into the ball. Exhaling, we're pressing the back of our left shoulder, left rib wall into the ball. Let's do 4 more. Over to the right. Exhale, pull to the left. And last one each. Over to the right. And exhale, pull to the left. Back through center and soften everything back and down. Again, you can let the head rest if that's available to you. Maybe reaching up and back. Take a nice big inhale here. Woo, big stretch. Exhale, nod the chin to the chest. Curl yourself up, coming all the way up off the ball. Take just a moment. We're going to go ahead and now set the ball out of the way. Coming to a nice seated position, bringing your legs underneath you. Just settle for a moment. See what this feels like in the base of your pelvis. Hands can come onto your knees. Maybe a little bit of lift of your heart. Breathing gently. Let's go ahead and just find a nice big inhale, wide into the ribs, deep into the back of your lungs. And exhale completely. Once more. Thank you so much, everybody. That's class. Stay safe out there. Be well.